Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm here with another What Sold From Last Week video. Usually I do them every single week, except last week I missed it. I don't know if you guys noticed, I'm sure a few of you did, but I just got really focused on some of the other videos that I've been putting out, like that bulk upload video. So I'm trying to do some new stuff. The What Sold videos are not going away, I just did not have time to get to it last week. Which kind of worked out because honestly, last week, or I guess 2 weeks ago, was kind of a bust for my reselling business. That is not the reason I did not make the video. It was strictly due to time, but it just kind of worked out. So the one that you guys missed, I will catch you up. I'm not going to do like a full-on video, but it was right around like, I want to say like $5,400, which is so low for us. I was shocked. But this week has proven that when you have lower weeks, usually a big week follows to kind of average everything out. And I do believe, I'm not 100% sure, I gotta look back, but I'm pretty sure we had another record-breaking week. I'm gonna dive into the sales so you guys can see.
So all of the sales that we're going over happened between April 23rd through the 29th. That is a Sunday through a Saturday. That's how I calculate my weeks. Last week I sold on 2 platforms, Ebay and Poshmark. Total items sold between both platforms were 271 items for a gross sales total of $7,757.16. I can't believe it, especially given my sales the week before, which were like in the 5,000 range. So I'm super happy with that number, and I'm glad that sales picked back up. Really great to see another record-breaking week. I believe it's record-breaking. If not, it's very close to the last record, but my new record will be 8,000. Average sale price last week was $28.62. Estimated cost of goods based on an average buy cost was $1,084. And then my estimated net, which is my gross sales, less cost of goods, any shipping costs, any fees, and any shipping discounts, ended up being $4,594.64. On eBay, I sold 142 items. On Poshmark, I sold 129. I did run a sale, so it is worth noting. I ran a sale, not even a sale. I just sent out mass offers to watchers on any coats and sweaters for 50% off. I'm trying to do like more of a seasonal move out and be, I guess, more proactive with that. So we did do that over the last couple of weeks. So I think some of those items went into play for my Poshmark sales. So just throwing that out there. I'm trying to get better about that. Gross sales on eBay were just under 5,000, and on Poshmark, they were just under 2,800. So big difference there. And to me, that's pretty typical. eBay is about double what Poshmark normally is. So we're going to jump into eBay. I'm very heavy on eBay sales this video because, as you can see, I sold a lot more on eBay, but I do have some Poshmark sales that I'll show you. So the first one on eBay are these pair of women's The Ace Collection Wild Fang Essential Trouser Pants. I got these from another reseller, and I've never heard of this brand before, but they retail for a ton, so we took a chance on them. I think this might be the one that's known for being like gender neutral, very like minimalist kind of menswear look to them. I might be mixing that up, but I believe this was that brand that I talked about in the haul video. Anyways, I would definitely look for this. We got lucky because these were new with tags. And, okay, yes, this is the same one. It was new with tags, plus it was also a size 14, which is a really great size in women's. Paid $5 for this. We ended up selling it for our full asking price of $70.94. So super happy with that. This also sold within about a month of getting listed. And for anyone that is unaware, recently, oops, you do not want to see that. Sorry about that. You guys might have missed. I started putting the start time up here of when we started the listing. So if you're interested in exactly how long it sold, the date is up here, at least for the eBay items. Okay, moving on to the next one. This is a Ralph Lauren purple label item. If you guys see this label in particular with Ralph Lauren, especially if it says collection, definitely want to be on the hunt. The purple label and the black label, or anything that says collection, is definitely higher end. I think, in my opinion, at least in my experience, the purple label is the most desirable. I have the best luck with that, but at least it's really high up there. So keep your eye out for the purple label. You can definitely ask for more money. And when you do your comps, make sure that you include purple label when you're doing your comp, because it will make a big difference. So this was a purple label. Let's just say it's a white dress. If I were to just search Ralph Lauren white dress, I'd get way different comps than searching Ralph Lauren purple label white dress. So keep your eye out for that. This was a really pretty kind of minimalist, beachy, embroidered white dress. It did have a couple of spots, which I did try to get out. However, I was unsuccessful. So I just went ahead and listed as is. I believe I paid $20 or $25 for this. I paid up knowing that it was purple label, but it ended up selling pretty quickly within about a month, 3 weeks-ish. For our full asking price of $74.94. So let's just say 25 into 75. Those are definitely margins I'm comfortable with, especially when it only took a month to sell. So keep your eye out for that one. This is another brand that I would definitely keep your eye out for. Definitely higher end. I hardly ever find this brand, but I'm always happy when I do. It is AYR, which I believe someone told me stood for all year round. Very simple tag. In general, if I see a simple tag like this, I'm looking it up because it tends to be a higher end brand. This was a 100% linen women's maxi dress. In my opinion, they are kind of minimalist. They're just like your basic staple pieces. So that's what that brand's kind of known for. I only paid $4.99 for this, and it ended up selling on an offer to watcher for $59.45. Also a pretty quick flip. I would pick up anything in this brand. If it were me, it sells really well. Everybody probably knows what this is, but just in case you don't, I wanted to share, it is Rothy's. A couple things I learned about Rothy's is that they can be faked, and you want to look for this tag underneath of the sole. Something else I learned is you can sell Rothy's even if there are some spots on them. You just have to price a lot lower. And then lastly, if they do look a little dingy, they're also known for being machine washable, and usually most of the stuff will come out, which is what I actually did with these. These are a lighter like ivory / tan beige color, and I ended up putting them through the washer with some stain remover, and pretty much everything came out, so I was able to list in really great condition. So just a couple tips on Rothy's for you that I've learned. I've only sold a few Rothy's, just a handful, but I'm always really excited when I find them, but I thought I'd share my tips with you on Rothy's. There's also some brands that are very similar to Rothy's. I think they kind of mimic Rothy's in the sense that they're like a knit flat, and those actually do pretty good as well. And they have a good sell-through rate. So if you see anything that looks like Rothy's, you might want to look it up because it might be worth something. I only paid $5.99 for these. Like I said, I did have to put them through the wash, but it was super easy. They ended up selling for an offer to watcher of $55.20, and Rothy's are always a pretty quick flip for me. Next up is a pretty interesting sale. I've kind of slowed down on picking up Levi's. There's only specific like women's ones that I get because jeans are now $8.99 at my Goodwills, and I just can't justify paying $8.99 for something that's going to sell for $25 in most cases, and that's where Levi's usually fall for me. But lately I've learned that there are some Levi's that do pretty good. Nikki actually came across these. They were new with tags, which is one of the only reasons we looked them up. But these colorful 501 shrink to fit jeans seem to be doing really, really well. Like I said, these ones were new with tags, so we kind of looked out on that. And honestly, colorful jeans is not something that I'm on the hunt for. They don't usually tend to flip for me, but for some reason this style is really popular right now. So we actually picked these up for $9.99 at a different thrift store than Goodwill. And we paid up that much because the sell-through rate was outstanding and it was new with tags. We listed them for $49.94, and they did sell pretty quickly for our full asking price. These next two pieces are both maxi dresses that sold in a bundle. There is this soft surroundings women's beautifully embroidered maxi dress, along with this Bowden really pretty wrap floral maxi dress. And you can just tell, like, I don't even, you know, when things just have a look to them and you're like, that's definitely going to sell. Both of these pieces definitely had that look for me. Maxi, multicolor, all things you want to be on the hunt for. So Bowden and soft surroundings and maxi dresses can be excellent brands to look for. In total, we paid $12 for both dresses, and they sold in a bundle for $119.81, which is a small discount to the buyer for bundling, but really great profits on that. I mean, each of those are about, if you just divide it out, an average, about $60 each is what they sold for. So really great profits on pre-owned dresses. I would definitely keep your eye out for maxi dresses in just about any brand, but you definitely want to do your comps before deciding. Next up is a really great golf wear brand to be on the lookout for. It is G4, and this is, they have different tags, but this is what it looks like, G//4FORE. For anyone that is not looking and just listening, great brand to pick up in pretty much anything. Has a really high sell-through rate and sells for really good money. This one did have a logo on the sleeve, but yeah, a W. Sorry if you guys hear the storm in the background. A W, which don't usually pick up company embroidered stuff because, you know, this W right here, you're limiting your buyer that's going to purchase something with a W on it, right? So we try to steer clear of company embroideries or initials or, you know, anything like that. But G4 is such a solid brand. We thought we could get away with it, and we did. Skulls also in this brand seem to up the value. It seems to be a more desirable item. So this is an extra large men's polo skull shirt, but it did have the company embroidery. We paid $4.99 for it. Listed it for about $65, and it sold on an offer for $55.20. So even with the embroidery, really great brand to pick up. Next up is a brand I've never heard of. I got this from one of our suppliers, and I'm glad she sent it. Otherwise, I would have never have heard of it. But it is a Guillermina Beza corset top. And people are wearing corset tops, not just like for lingerie purposes, but like fashion purposes. So like I could totally see someone wearing these with wide leg jeans or a really nice full length maxi skirt. This one was very like cottage core, kind of Y2K, very dainty, really awesome. I actually did a comp on this specific brand and it was performing extremely well. So I would definitely keep your eye out for that specific brand, which is not the case usually with vintage pieces. Usually you just rely on style and not brand, but this brand seemed to be performing well. I paid $5.42 for it. It ended up selling on an offer for $55.15. This didn't even have a size tag. We kind of had to guess, and it still sold very, very quickly. So definitely want to be on the lookout for that. Next up is a brand that is semi-new to me. It is Glider, Glyder. And the only reason I looked at this was because it was new with tags. There's not a whole lot of information on eBay about it. I kind of had to take some risks with this brand recently. I sold a tie-dye sweatshirt by this brand, and I think it sold for like $40, which was crazy. So since then, I've been on the hunt for this brand. It doesn't seem to be well known enough on eBay yet, but their website seems to be popular. They're highly rated and they sell for quite a bit of money. So I felt pretty confident in picking this up new with tags. This is just a pair of pull-on pants. In my opinion, they're kind of like hikey guide looking line. We paid $14.99 for these. We listed for about $65 and it sold on an offer to watcher for $55.19. I'm definitely going to be on the hunt for this brand. I'm going to be careful, like try to do comps the best I can, but sometimes brands are up and coming and you kind of just have to rely on very little information. If you guys remember Flint and Tinder, there's a lot of information about it now on eBay, but when I first started finding it, there were hardly any comps, and you just had to kind of go off of what you had and the website. And it ended up being a very popular brand about a year later. So I think the same thing is going to be true with Glider, but I definitely keep your eye out for that. This is a really cool sale. This was my favorite sale from that week. It is a Hanes collaboration t-shirt, which hardly ever get Hanes, right? But it is redone in collaboration with Hanes, and Redone is a very popular, expensive brand, very trendy. And so when I saw Redone with Hanes, I was like, I'm going to look this up. Very high sell-through rates, and depending on which one you have, like the graphic, you can ask for a lot more. Mine, I didn't see any of my graphics, so I priced on the higher side. There was also a small hole on the side seam. So we made sure to note that it still sold for really, really good money. So definitely want to keep your eye out for that. Let's see. I paid only $4.99 for it. We listed it for $64.88. It sold within about a week, guys, for my full asking price, even with the hole. So I'm definitely going to keep my eye out for that. This is the first time I've seen it, but keep your eye out for that collaboration. Here's another dress. This is a soft surroundings. I think this is a midi dress, but it's a size 2X. Anything plus size and soft surroundings is like uber quick flip for me. We paid $3.99 for this dress. I always look up the style number, which is found on the tag right here, to figure out the exact style name of soft surroundings. I do think it matters. This was called the Senorita off shoulder dress. Again, in a size 2X, really striking colors. And I knew this was going to be a quick flip. Paid $3.99. We listed for $54.93. It sold on an offer to watcher for $46.69. Really great profits on that. Next up is an Eddie Bauer item, and I've really slowed down on Eddie Bauer, but there are a few pieces or a few lines that I'll look for. This is the Travex line. If you guys see the symbol, and sometimes it even says Travex. Good line to be on the lookout for. Not in everything, but there are certain pieces. This is what I'm tending to get lately. This is an Eddie Bauer Travex men's blazer, and these seem to have a pretty good following. I have really good luck selling these. I paid $4.99 for them. It feels like an athletic-y nylon feel blazer, so they're pretty easy to spot because they're not going to look like your traditional blazer, almost like an athletic blazer, if you will. And so they're pretty easy to find. I paid $4.99. We listed it for $49.94, and it sold for full asking price. This did take a little bit longer to sell. However, I'm still glad we got it, and I'll continue picking up this brand. It is Baldwin. It is a menswear brand of jeans. However, this brand, there's not, again, kind of like the other glider item I was talking about, not a lot of information yet, but just enough to go ahead and pick it up. So Baldwin men's jeans I'm getting, they're not flipping super quick, but they always flip for really good money. We paid $6.29 for this, and it ended up selling for about $45. So like I said, enough of profits that I'm willing to sit on them knowing that it's going to flip. This was definitely a style-based pickup. This was a vintage women's linen trench coat. Very login look style, but it was dead stock new with tags, which is why I felt so confident picking it up. This did take a little while to sit. I kind of had to make up a price. I paid $5.99 for it. I think we originally listed it for $75. I've since dropped the price. It ended up selling for $52.71. But it was linen, it was a trench coat, it was dead stock vintage, login look all the way, like factor sacked the heck out of this one. And I'm glad I did because it sold for a good profit. This is something I wanted to show you, not only for the brand, which is Eileen Fisher. You guys know I love picking up Eileen Fisher, but vintage maxi dresses, the very plain looking, very similar to this style, and just about any brand seems to perform well as long as you use vintage as a keyword. And then I've also found using the word mature or modest can also help sometimes sell a piece. This one didn't need any help selling because it was Eileen Fisher and it was linen, but just in general, again, this style, these like very modest maxis, vintage ones, seem to perform really well, so I'm always on the hunt for those. I paid $5.99 for this, and it ended up selling for our full asking price for $34.88. Here's another men's wear blazer that has been performing well for me. They are the Banana Republic tailored fit blazers. These ones are, I don't know how to explain it other than you can just tell that they're very modern. They're really easy to spot because it says tailored fit right there. With some blazers, your brand label's not going to be on the back. It's going to be on the inside of one of the sides. So they're pretty easy to spot, and they've been flipping really, really quickly for us. I paid $5.99. It sold for a full asking price for $34.92. This is kind of a niche brand that you definitely want to be on the lookout for. It is Cut Loose. Now, first time I found this tag, I thought it was nothing, but now I pick up every piece in this brand if it's linen. Very big following for linen pieces in this brand, so Cut Loose, keep your eye out for that. Very log and look style, and log and look can be a great keyword to use. This one is a linen blend. Very, very high comps with this as well. I paid $4.99. We listed for about $45. It sold on an offer to watcher for $38.15. And this is definitely something I would have passed on until I looked it up. So showing it to you guys so you no longer pass on it. Again, strictly the linen pieces, but they flip really quickly for good money. This is a pair of vintage like Y2K style sandals. Something you definitely want to look for is the like platform heel right here. If you see anything like this, especially slides during this time of the year, I would get it. And Skechers is a great brand to look for in Y2K items. Definitely has a following. These were super unique, so I priced up a little bit. They definitely had some spots, but I knew they'd flip quickly. I paid $7.99. We listed for about $35. They sold very quickly on an offer to watcher for $29.65. And this is the Skechers Jammers line. And anything Skechers Jammers always flips quickly for me. Here's another brand that I don't know a lot about yet, but I'm going to continue looking for. It is, I don't know how to pronounce it, Katin or Katin, Katin. Very similar to Glider in my opinion. And this is a pair of chino pants. We paid $5.47 for it. It sold for our full asking price very, very quickly, about a month, for $34.93. So I'm pretty happy with that. And I'm going to be on the lookout for that brand in the future. Next up is a Free People item. We still sell a lot of Free People, but I have been a lot more picky. Midi to max length dresses always flip really quickly, so I wanted to share this with you. I paid $5.26 for this. It's just a pretty plain geometric wrap dress by Free People. It ended up selling on an offer for $33.94. Here's a brand I've been picking up lately that I didn't used to pick up. It is Rails. The reason I didn't pick this up all the time was because it tended to sit, which this one definitely sat. But I learned that even though it does sit, it always ends up selling for pretty good profits because the retail value is so high and there's enough of a following. So this is a Rails pineapple print button-up shirt. I originally priced this way too high. So, I think that's the reason it sat longer, but I'm now picking up this brand and just waiting for the right buyer. I picked this up at the bins. It ended up selling for $34.50, and which for a t-shirt is a really great profit. I think in the future, my strategy with this is going to be to just price lower than everyone else and get it to move quicker. But Rails, if you go to their website, they have like dresses for like $200. So pretty higher end brand. And again, enough of a following that I'm willing to sit on it. This is a newer brand to me. One of my employees found this. It is District Vision. I've never seen this before. Pretty cool. This is the logo, DV. V is sideways. And felt very high quality. She did the research, and I'm glad she did because we'll be looking for this in the future for anything athletic wear in this brand. We paid $4.99. It ended up selling pretty quickly for $33.90, which was an offer to watcher. So if you're looking for some new athletic wear brands, this one seems to be doing well. This is a collaboration I would always get. It is CP Shades with Free People, both pretty great brands. And this is a linen button-up shirt, which looks kind of like, I guess, drab and grungy. Not something I'd look for to pick up in like spring or summer, more of a fall item, but very good following with this collaboration, so got it anyways, and I think the linen pulled it through. We paid $4.99 for it. It sold very quickly for our full asking price of $39.94. This is a brand I'm always on the hunt for, especially in spring and summer. It is J. McLaughlin. They're kind of known for their bright multicolor prints, very similar to Lily Pulitzer. This one is not bright multicolor print. It is like a chambray tiered linen dress, but I still thought the style pulled it through. We paid $4.89. It sold for $35.92, which was our full asking price. So keep your eye out for J. McLaughlin. In my opinion, their pieces go for at least $25 more if you've got a multicolor print, but it's a pretty solid brand for me. This has been a brand I've been experimenting with for a while now. It is Express, and they're very well known for their business wear in the women's category. I don't pick up everything Express. There are very select pieces I get, but their dress pants usually have a specific style name to them. This one's called the Columnist pant. This one was new at Tag, so I felt very confident in it, but you can get some pretty good money for Express women's dress pants. You just got to make sure you do the research. Again, this one was new at Tag, so it was a no-brainer. I paid $5.42. It sold for a full asking price of $29.94, and that sold really quickly. This is something I wanted to show because there's a lot of like Italian named linen wear brands. I guess that's the best way I can describe it. I come across them pretty often. This is a pretty good one to be on the lookout for. It is Piazza Sempione, and pretty much in general, any like strictly linen made in Italy brand I'm always looking up during this time of the year because a lot of them are really quick flips. This one was called the Audrey pant, so it was pretty easy to look up. We paid $5.35 for it. It sold on an offer to watcher for $29.70. Again, just wanted to show you this because there are a lot of like made in Italy linen brands that you might want to look for. On to Poshmark. We sold this Tommy Bahama men's linen blend button-down shirt. Tommy Bahama linen shirts in the men's department are definitely something we're still on the hunt for. Pricing has definitely dropped since last year and the year before that. I used to be able to get like close to $40 a couple years ago for these. Now it's more like 25. But since they are quick flips, we're still looking for them. If you can find larger sizes or really nice bright prints like this one is, they'll definitely flip faster and for more money. Paid $5.24 for this, sold for $28 on Posh. This is a Lululemon women's new tag wrap scarf, and just wanted to show you this because not a typical thing you'd look for at the thrift store for Lululemon. And if you came across it like hanging at the end of an aisle, you might not know what it is or to look for it, but Lululemon does make like athletic feeling scarves, so I'd keep your eye out for them. We paid $5.44 for this. It sold for $30 on Posh. This is a pretty exciting sale. This is Abercrombie & Fitch. I'm experimenting with this brand. I'm learning that there are certain pieces that are really trendy right now that people will pay up for. This is the Abercrombie & Fitch Dad Short High Rise. It was also a size 12, which is a really great size in women's wear right now. And anytime I can find shorts or like short sleeve t-shirts that can sell for $25 and up, I'm here for it because shorts and shirts are so easy to list, but they don't typically have high enough value for me to get them. So this is something I'm going to keep my eye out for, as well as maybe some other styles in this brand in shorts. But I wanted to share that with you because, at least for me, I used to skip on this brand all the time. We paid $4.99 for these, and they sold for $25 on Posh. This is another bread and butter for me. Lucky Brand men's t-shirts, when they are a larger size, I would say extra large and up, flip right around $25 for me usually. This is the Venice burnout shirt, which is a very popular style, and it was a size XXL. I definitely factor stacked with this one, but super quick bread and butter flip and pretty easy to come across. I paid $4.99. It sold for $25. This is an outdoorsy wear brand that I would definitely be on the lookout for in dresses. It is Toad & Co. I also learned that their skirts have a pretty good following as well. Skirts you're only going to get like 20 to $25 for, but their maxi dresses like this one can flip for really good money. We paid $4.99. It sold for $45 on Posh, and that's a really great return on investment for an outdoor brand dress. This was an interesting sale. I definitely could not find any information about this brand. It is unsubscribed, but it was a 100% cashmere sweater, and it had the look. I talk about this a lot. Like, it just had the look. You knew it was going to sell. So try to do some research on it. I ended up going to their actual website where this item was actually sold at, and these sweaters are priced for hundreds of dollars. So even though I didn't have a lot of comp information on eBay or on Poshmark, I took the risk on it. And I tend to do that with cashmere pieces and linen pieces. If I can find the brand's website and I see that it retails for a lot, I will take a chance with cashmere and linen because I know the material itself could pull the item through, even though the brand might not be popular on eBay or Posh. So that's my strategy, and it has worked pretty well for me in the past, honestly. I paid $4.89 for this. It is a really gorgeous luxury feeling. I know you can't feel it, but it felt super high quality women's cashmere sweater. It was like kind of a tie-dye print, black and gray, and here is the brand label, although I'm not sure I'll ever find that again. And I listed it high because it retailed for a lot, and I just kind of had to make up a price. I think we originally priced it for close to $100. It ended up selling on an offer for $63. I just kind of let the market decide, but wanted to share that story with you that I do take chances on 100% cashmere and 100% linen pieces, and sometimes it really pays off, like in the case of this sweater. Next up is a vintage cat sweatshirt, and I've talked about this before, but like crazy cat lady stuff, cat print stuff, anything to do with cats seems to flip really well, especially vintage pieces. I was able to actually look up the brand pretty quickly and see that these were going for really good money. I guess not really good money, really selling really quickly. I had a following for decent money. So I picked this up for $4.39. We listed for $35. It sold very quickly on an offer for $29. So keep your eye out for vintage cat stuff. In my experience, it flips really quickly. This is a brand you definitely want to be on the lookout for in the men's department. It is Rock Revival, very easy to find, thick stitch, kind of embellished looking jeanswear brand. My thrift stores price up Rock Revival. I hardly ever find it at a decent price, but when I do, I snatch it up, especially men's. Women's, you got to be a little bit more careful about. You have to look up the style, but Rock Revival men's seems like everything sells. These are a pair of khaki shorts, which I don't think I've ever found khaki shorts in this brand. So I was excited to find it, and it seemed to be performing well. We paid $7.99 for this. We listed for $50, and it sold for $40 on Posh, which is top notch for selling pre-owned men's shorts. $40 is really solid. Next up is a brand in sling bags that I always look for. It is Kavu, KAVU. They make the like crossbody sling bags is what they're well known for. I can usually flip them for about $35, which is exactly what this one sold for. We paid $5.99. I don't know what else to say about it other than be on the lookout for the sling bags in this brand. Here's another Abercrombie and Fitch piece. This is kind of a niche section of Abercrombie that I did know about that sells really, really well. And if you don't know about this, I would definitely do a comp. Look up Abercrombie and Fitch men's camo cargo shorts. Check sell-through rate. Get to know it. You'll see why. Very high sell-through rate, and some of them can sell for outrageous amounts of money, especially if they are like the thick ones with the drawstring inside. And you'll notice that I put all of that info in here, including drawstring, because I did know that it made a difference. So Abercrombie & Fitch men's camo cargo shorts, I will even pick these up if they're destroyed, just because people are seeking after it, and it's always a quick flip. I only paid $4.89 for these. These did have the drawstring on the inside, which helped to up the value. I think I listed for around $60, and it sold for $51 on Posh. Super quick flip too. This is kind of a bread and butter item that I haven't mentioned in a while, so I thought I'd bring it up. But men's and women's Nike sweatshirts are like really quick $25 flips, the crew neck sweatshirts. This is a women's size large, pink, modern looking boxy sweatshirt. I paid $4.89. It sold for $27 on Posh. I can usually get $25 to $30 for the women's wear ones. And again, it's just a quick bread and butter flip. This is a brand I just recently started picking up. It is Bila, and their size extra large and higher have a really good sell-through rate. I was kind of risking it with the size large, but I thought the style would pull it through. But again, a great bread and butter to be on the lookout for in larger sizes. This is only a size large, but it did flip quickly. They make boho tops, very similar to Lucky Brand in my opinion. We picked this up for $2.99. It sold for $25 on Posh. This is another great brand that I pick up in just about anything. It is American Giant. This is a women's size large tank dress. Very, very good pickup. And we paid $7.99 for this. It sold for $46 on Posh. I even sell their just plain t-shirts. This brand is very plain. Like everything is just solid color, plain staple pieces, but they're super thick. I've sold their t-shirts for $25 really quickly, which again, t-shirts, anything 25 and up, I'm definitely doing. But if you have anything more substantial than that, you can sell it for quite a bit. Pants do well, dresses do well. I think I've sold hoodies before. Anything other than a t-shirt's going to go for a lot more, but definitely want to keep your eye out for the dresses because this sold for $46. And last item is kind of a no-brainer, but I wanted to mention it. It is a Burberry London men's plaid button-up shirt. Very classic colors on this one. Always, whenever I see this tan, black, or red, they're like core color plaid in anything, I pick it up and see if it's Burberry. And sometimes it is. To my surprise, this brand's actually pretty easy to find. I would say at least like once or twice a month we come across a Burberry London men's shirt. So just keep your eye out for it. If you see a Burberry looking plaid, check it. I think sometimes people just kind of pass over it just because they think they're not going to find Burberry. But you don't know unless you look. And in my experience, they're not easy to come across, but you can find them relatively often, and they flip for really good money. I'll definitely pick them up even if they're not the core color, but the core color is where it is at. They flip for significantly more money if they are this color scheme. So this was also a size extra large, which helped us sell it, and no flaws. I picked this up for $5.42 and it ended up selling for $75 on Posh. So definitely keep your eye out for that. And if you see any core color of anything, check and see if it's Burberry.
Alright guys, so that's it for what sold last week. I hope that you guys enjoyed watching. If you're not already and you would like to be, don't forget to subscribe down below and hit that notification bell. If you do that, you'll be notified every single time I post a video. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you in the next one. Bye.